69% of employees are engaged, or at least that's what most companies believe, when in actual fact it's only 34% of employees that are truly engaged. So there's a big experience gap. And that's why we believe that the old definition of human capital management isn't relevant anymore, and we are rewriting this to be human experience management. And I'm going to bring this to life for you today. And everything you're about to see is available today. Here is Elise. Elise is at the airport, she's waiting for her flight, and she is on her way to Vegas. It's her birthday and she's about to meet her friends. However, while she's there, she receives some bad news. Her flight is delayed. So what else will she do in this spare time? She decides to take her phone and browse social media. And she finds herself on Snapchat, and she can see all the things that she's missing out on with her friends who are already there. Until she sees a snap from a company that she follows. She wants to see what that's all about. It says looking for something new, or to be inspired. Tap to find your dream job. Okay, so this is a job advertisement. Now, she wasn't looking for a job, she was just talking to her friends, so she was a passive candidate. But this company have engaged with her in a way that she engaged in normal life. So she definitely wants to tap. And when she does, it takes her straight to a career site, a specific page for the job of People Director. Now, this is Elise's dream job. She already works as an HR manager, and she does think perhaps this is a bit of a big jump. But there's not too much information on here. Actually, there's not a whole list of requirements about skills and competencies where she might mentally checklist and disqualify herself. All she needs to do is leave a little bit of information. Her email, and that's it. Just before she submits this, it will ask her if she's okay with the data privacy. She can say yes, and then that's it. She's submitted a little piece of information. But just before she's about to leave, she is asked how her experience has been so far. Just like Uber, when you jump out the Uber, you're asked for feedback and a rating out of 5. It's in the moment, simple, and this is exactly what this company is doing. So Elise can just answer 2 questions about the type of work she's looking for and how easy was it to navigate this career site. On average, candidates spend less than 4 minutes on a career site, so it needs to be quick, simple, and engaging. What better way to understand how to do that than asking candidates directly? So Elise has made it to Vegas. She's having a good time with her friends, and she's able to be a part of that social media frenzy that was happening. But now what we're going to do is move from Vegas over to San Francisco, and we're heading to the headquarters of the company that are trying to hire for that People Director role. And there's Paul, he's the recruiter, and to be honest, he's in a bit of a panic. The last time he did a panic hire, that guy didn't last very long at all. So Paul is under a lot of pressure to hire well and quickly for this People Director role, a critical role to the business. Now, luckily for Paul, his company have invested in tools to make his life easier and him to be able to do his job better. They've selected an app from the SAP App Store that's going to allow him to source candidates using artificial intelligence. Paul goes to where he normally would to manage his open job roles. But this time he has an additional tile here called Sensia. Now, Sensia are one of our apps from our App Store. But there are many other apps on there, and it might not just be recruiting. It might be learning or managing an organization or even giving recognition to employees. But this is just our example for this story. So he goes to hit Sensia. Now he can see that his people director requisition has been pulled through, so he wants to see what candidates have been found for him. And within seconds, he has a whole list of candidates ranked by suitability. We can even see where they came from. So we can see our lady Elise, she's number 1. And there's a blue heart icon. That means she's been rediscovered. She only left a little piece of information about herself, but the artificial intelligence has done the rest of the work and has created a richer profile about her. Now, although Elise doubted herself, now we know that actually she is a really good candidate. Or it might be people have directly applied to the job role. Now, 85% of your workforce are not actively looking for a job, but if they got a better opportunity, then likely they're going to say yes. So arguably, that 85% are much higher quality candidates than the 5% that are actively looking to leave the company. And we're putting that whole new pool of talent into the hands of recruiters. And we can even see where they've come, why they've been recommended. So this person, we can see her full job history, her education, and even her skills. And for Elise, we can see the same, but what our recruiter might want to do is go ahead and contact Elise and see if she formally wants to apply and take this further. Now, normally it might take recruiters 3 weeks to find a suitable candidate for an interview. This can take that right down to 3 days. So Paul and his team are pretty happy. They've found their candidate and they've contacted her. So actually we're going to fast forward in time here because Elise has been contacted, she's been through the interview process and she gets the job. So we're now skipping to her first day. She got the dream job. She's trying to settle in, everything's going well until she receives a message from her new manager. Elise, let's meet tomorrow for a talent update and to discuss our strategy going forward. So she thinks, where is she going to start? She hasn't even fully met her team yet. But what she tries to do instead is she's going to go to the place where she's had most of her onboarding. And it takes her straight to her profile. She can see her profile, she can manage her personal information, her career goals. But what she wants to do is find her team and ask for an update from them to prepare for her meeting tomorrow. So she can see her team, she wants to view the org chart. Instantly she can understand who's in her team and what job roles they do. Next to email, for our existing customers, this is the most used tool because it's so easy to navigate the whole organization just with your thumb. Connecting colleagues together. So let's take Dorothy. We can see she's the people manager for Northeast, and what Elise wants to do is quickly give her a call and try and get an update from her. Now, Elise also notices that in her to-do list she has some approvals, but there's one approval she's not so happy about, the second one, a voluntary resignation to a competitor. So she thinks, well, what's going on? She knows the person before her left to a competitor, and now someone from her team is leaving to a competitor. These employees clearly aren't so happy. And within her recommended learnings, she's able to be pointed to a dashboard where she can understand more about employee experience. What she wants to investigate is exit survey feedback. And she can see that yes, her gut feeling was right. In the past quarter, 11 people have left the business. And she can even understand the things that they've been saying in this feedback. They're not likely to recommend and they wouldn't consider working here again. And actually, the manager has not scored favourably at all. So what's the sentiment of this feedback? Well, we can see the top most frequent conversations topics like career progression or an engaged manager. And then we get to the sentiment and we can see in the orange the negative sentiment, an engaged manager and career progression. So although this isn't good news, at least she is finding out what might be causing people to leave. But now she wants to find out, is this just an HR issue or is this organisationally wide? She's able to look at the annual engagement scores for the organisation, and actually 76% are engaged, which is pretty good. So she wants to see the different topics that were asked about. Career progression is one of the lowest scoring. Break that down by department, and we can see again HR are not doing so well there. So she's thinking she's got the job of her dreams, but what has she walked into? She's got a real big issue at her hands with employee engagement in HR. So what's she going to tell her manager at this meeting tomorrow? But as she scrolls down, she actually notices that there are opportunities in this. Opportunities to improve certain engagement scores. Let's take career progression. She's able to see that actually she's got advice on how to improve career progression, taking advantage of learning, creating development plans, or career paths. So what Elise has been able to do in a matter of minutes is identify an issue, identify the root cause, and have advice to take action to improve those issues. So Elise is taking that information, and what she's doing is presenting to her new manager the next day. She's nervous, but she's got the data and the facts behind her to help position her ideas. Anxiously, she gets through the meeting, and soon she's able to get away and go to a cafe to take a break. And while she's at the cafe, although she was anxious, she receives a notification from SuccessFactors. Actually, she's just received some feedback. Some feedback from her new manager, Jeff. Elise, you really impressed during our meeting today. I have complete confidence in you to deliver on expectations. Glad to have you on board. So Elise has been able to get through her first 2 days of high pressure, and she's had all the tools she needed at her fingertips to be able to understand the organisation and how to improve it. And this is human experience management, putting the candidate and the employee right at the centre of this experience.